Hello and welcome to the Success Showcase. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin from the Modern Observer Group. And with me as always is Chip Janiszewski from the Happiness and Success GPS. Chip, how you doing this week?
Doing great. How about you, Eric?
Doing fantastic. It's hard to believe the summer is almost over already. We are heading into mid-August and I've already started planning on 2025.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't do anything over the weekend as far as with my brain because I was invaded by the grandkids. And we,
always a great thing.
yes, it's a very quiet house today, but what a wonderful time.
That's fantastic. Well, we've talked a lot on this podcast about the importance of community, the importance of networking, and we've got a very special guest here this week. We have Abby Beck, who is the co-founder of M3 Linked, which is a different kind of a networking company. So, Abby, welcome.
Hello, Eric. Hello, Chip. And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's great having you here. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I started life working in the US back in 1988 on Wall Street. And so, it's a very, very different world to what I inhabit now. Of course, I went from Wall Street into a different occupation altogether. After 9/11, a lot of things changed for a lot of people. And I went into nonprofit work and was working in fundraising for a very long time. And then following the passing of my late husband, Peter, I moved to Pennsylvania, where I met up again, I should say, an old friend, an old family friend, Joe Beck, married him, and M3 Linked was born around that time. It wasn't actually Joe and I that founded it. It was founded by 4 other people, but we took over about 2 years ago now. And gosh, we're just expanding all over the place. So it's been a really great thing.
And yeah, M3 really is a different kind of networking community. So talk a little bit about how, even though it's virtual, you've got events geared towards specific locations.
Yes, yeah, we do. We have locations in 8 different centers at this point. We also have a Christian location that happens once a month. And so we are welcoming also Christian entrepreneurs. We have many things going on within those different locations, but each location has their own special membership. And then, of course, there are Grow members who go from one location to another. Very shortly now, we're going to be expanding overseas as well as moving out into the country.
Fantastic. And just for our listeners, for full disclosure, I am a Grow member of M3 and have gotten to go to a lot of these virtual events.
Yes.
It really is based on community. It's not, a typical networking where you show up, say something, trade contact information. There are deep relationships built between people.
Oh, that absolutely. We're so excited to offer invite-only M3 Linked experiences because during that time, we're able to provide an opportunity for business leaders and entrepreneurs to collaborate and obviously to exchange ideas. And obviously, the result of that is that even in a changing economy, we understand that we need to get together. We need to be in collaboration with each other. So it's not just another networking group, as you said. What I always say to everybody is look around the room, that the quality of the people is astounding, and you're going to make many wonderful connections with that caliber of people. And the offering itself, it's all extraordinary. And as we've said so many times in the meeting, we're working hard now to expand our reach and make our vision a reality.
Yeah, I mean, as I always familiarize myself by going to the website of the person who's coming on the podcast and going to your website and looking at what you have. It's amazing as far as it's almost like an a la carte menu for all of your members as far as different things that they can possibly do. But I mean, you have the forums, which is the networking groups, but you also have mastermind sessions, you have select groups, you have focus groups, expert panels, and as you were talking about, you have the Veritas too. So you have a whole lot of different options there that people can attend. So I mean, if you want to talk a little bit about that to familiarize people, I mean, what you do is very, very unique as far as all the different options.
Our website needs to be updated a little bit because we have a few things that have kind of come to being this year. One of those things is M3 Intensive, which is our learning management platform. And that allows particularly our kind of master members to put information into M3 Intensive. And if you happen to be a solopreneur, for instance, doing everything, you're able to access that information very easily through M3 Intensive. We also have M3 Funding coming, which is going to be a way of our members to be able to finance various projects. And we also have M3 Benefits coming, which is going to be health and various different areas there that we're going to be covering. So there's a lot coming. We're currently in negotiations with Dubai. And so we're going to be overseas very shortly now. We've also been looking at the Caribbean, at the UK and India. So, there's lots of good stuff there. I think what is really important to touch upon here is that our masterminds not only are exceedingly good, but they actually are given free now with each level of membership. I don't know of anybody who's doing that. They used to cost around 3,200. Now they're actually given away with the membership because we have seen the visible growth in our members when they belong to masterminds. There's so much there to be mentored and to learn and to share with the group. And for those that aren't familiar with the whole mastermind process, it's generally a group of 8 to 10 people. They all sign an NDA, and so they're able to deep dive into each other's businesses and just offer really experiential advice, not advice in the sense of you should do this, but in terms of, I experienced that myself and this is what we did. So people kind of come away from that with a great feeling of new ideas and being able to expand on what they've already got going.
Yeah, it really is amazing how M3 is growing into this holistic platform for solopreneurs and small business people who can grow their business through not just networking, but support and education for, as you said, benefits, financing. It really is providing people with a method to put together their ideal company, and this gives them that boost to actually get there.
Yeah. When we first came up with the idea of taking this, we actually decided that instead of this being a franchise as it had been, we decided to change the operation to license. We lowered the price, exponentially. So it now means that people are actually able to own their own location in their own backyard, basically, wherever they are, and able to work with people to really kind of, if you're a coach or you're working in a business from home, very often having a location like this can run very neatly with what you're already doing. And so, and effectively acts as a funnel, as well as the opportunity for people to really for leaders and entrepreneurs to meet, as we've said, to collaborate, but also to create those meaningful relationships and the business growth that everybody needs. So every member can accelerate their business this way.
Yeah, there's some great opportunities, and it is a very unique business model. But given how you're expanding into different parts of helping businesses, how would you describe your core philosophy behind M3?
I think our core philosophy is all about really working hard and valuing our people and to be a driving force in other people's lives, because what we want to do is really assist our people. We want to raise them with us as we're going up and we're expanding. We want that for our members as well. We want them to be able to really experience the full gamut of experiences that we offer so that they can expand their businesses and do really well.
And you know, you obviously have attended numerous meetings. You speak to a lot of the attendees. Tell us what the response has been. What have people told you about what they're getting out of M3?
Oh, you know, it is amazing. We've heard so many stories about people saying to us, oh gosh, my business has grown or it's exploded since I've been part of M3. You know, they meet various different people who are effectively creating resources for them. So it's not just a question of meeting another member and getting those connections, but it's the connections that they introduce them to. We've actually had several $1 million deals that have happened as a direct result of M3 Linked and the people that they've met through either our members or through someone that's been introduced to them through our members. And that's been a wonderful thing to watch. We love to see that. We love to hear those stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chip.
Yeah, and so for someone who's just getting familiar with this, like myself, obviously taking a look at your website, you have all different types of options and so on and so forth. And basically, it looks like you have to apply for membership and I think you call it finding a community and so on. So kind of walk me through the process as far as how people go through that and then where they're placed. I mean, are people taking advantage of all these different things, or are they joining for different specific thing? Because you have all different types of options here that cover just about everything that people need.
Right. Well, what actually happens is, let's say you're listening to this right now and you go, oh, that sounds like an interesting idea. You're going to go to M3Linked, linked.com, or you can email me at abby.beck@m3linked.com and ask for a ticket. And we will send you a ticket in your area. So if you live in the Tampa area, or if you live in the Detroit area, or wherever it is you are, we're able to match you up with a location that's closest to you. And you're able to get in there. And even though it's virtual, you're going to meet quite a few local people too. And of course, you know, many of our people meet up and have coffee and lunch together and what have you. And you know, we are eventually looking towards more of a hybrid situation where once a month they might meet, or once every quarter, or whatever. But for the majority of people, they love the fact that they can meet online in this state-of-the-art platform, and they can take advantage of the many different services that we offer. As you said, it is a membership-driven business. And so consequently, they come in, they see what we've got going on, they meet our members, if they like it and our members like them, they become a member, they're invited to membership. And then of course, they're able to take advantage of all of the various different programs like the learning platform and the funding, etc.
Yes, and it truly is a state-of-the-art platform. Most people are used to virtual networking via Zoom. This is a very different experience. Can you describe the interface and how people interact on the platform?
And we keep it really simple. We work on the KISS model. So we keep it simple, stupid. You come right through a link. You walk into a smart venue, but literally what you're seeing is kind of a cartoon world. You know, you've got a cartoon barista on the right, you have sofas on the left, you have tables and chairs in the middle, smart venue. It even shows you the little cars parked outside. And then you have the opportunity to jump around those tables and get to meet everybody that's there. But when you arrive, of course, what you find is that even though the world you're going into is cartoon, you're meeting real people with their laptops open, their PCs on, and you get the opportunity to interact with them just as we're doing now, and to talk one-on-one. Originally you'll be dropped at a table with probably 5 other people. Everyone just kind of comes in with their coffee and comes in first thing in the morning, and it's very casual. And then around 8:30, 8:35, we go into the professional mode, which is the formal presentation mode. And at that point, the host, whoever that is, whether it's John or Joe or RJ, whoever it is that's hosting, they will then introduce our guests and our members one by one. Each person comes up, talks for around 90 seconds about their business. They talk about it in M3. So it would be M1 is what you've mastered in your career. M2 is your mission. It's what your business is, what you bring to the table. And M3 is your motivation. That's what you hope to get out of the meeting. And that would be probably meeting other people, making connections, perhaps new business, maybe funding, whatever it is that you're looking for. Our people are able to provide that because so many resources are available. People come from all parts of the business ecosystem, really. And so what you find is this wonderful community of people that you're able to dig roots into.
Yeah, it is really a great group of people. And what's really fantastic about the platform and the way it's set up is that even though you're assigned to a local area, there are different memberships. We mentioned the Grow membership where you can go to any of these areas. I believe there's a middle level where you can go to two different meetings.
Yeah, you have three different meetings.
Three.
It's Connect level, it's one meeting plus the mastermind. So that's your local level. Energize is 3 that include your local level and 2 others of your choice. So if you're looking for East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, etc., you're able to do that at the same time as also having a mastermind that's online. And then the Grow membership, of course, is all of the locations. And very soon, we're hoping that will be in all 50 states. And eventually, we're going to be bringing a passport level, which will allow people to go overseas as well.
Yeah, it really is fantastic. You know, as somebody that has clients all over the country, it has been great being able to network in New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. You know, so I'm going across the country in the span of a week.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, honestly, we're going to get to a point where you just can't possibly hit them all in a week, but you'll be able to pick and choose which ones you want to go to, and that's fun as well because there's always an opportunity to meet new people. I'm so excited about the idea of expanding and also going overseas. I think it's going to be a lot of fun when we get to talk to entrepreneurs in Dubai and the UK and various different areas. Canada, of course, is another big one that we need to break into, and that's a great opportunity as well.
And we should be clear for our listeners that even though officially M3 is not launched overseas, that doesn't mean that international folks aren't joining these meetings. I've met folks from across the world at these events.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. In fact, the guy we're talking to in Dubai, who's kind of our guy on the ground, if you like, also came to us through M3 Linked and is in fact originally from the UK, living in Dubai. You know, in Remo, the platform that we use, and we are agents for Remo, we actually have members that are coming from Hong Kong. And so we have all kinds of good stuff happening. And certainly the Caribbean already, we have people coming from there, and we have a guy on the ground in the Caribbean who's opening up Trinidad and Tobago and hopefully Jamaica. So we're going to have lots of good stuff coming there too.
Yes, it's been very interesting having conversations with folks at these events. And then the meeting will end. Most of us will go about our days, but there's always usually a handful of people that they're leaving the event and going to sleep because it's midnight there, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes, like, you know, if we have evening events, you know, our guy from Dubai will pop in, but that means it's like, gosh, crazy o'clock in the morning for him. So that does happen. And you know, obviously people value it to be there at those crazy times of day. For the majority of Americans, it's going to be 8:10 in the morning till about 10:30. It's about 2 hours long, and you really have the opportunity to interact with a lot of very, very fun, very smart, very business savvy people.
Yes. And the format of these events is very much like a live networking event. And if you're familiar with networking, it's you come, you mingle with folks, you have conversations, then it's a more formal presentation. There's some M3 presentations, including an inspirational video that kicks off the meeting. Everybody does their 90-second commercial. And then after everybody has introduced themselves, we go back to the tables. And if you heard somebody's commercial that caught your attention, that's when you get to go talk with them.
Absolutely. You make a beeline for them. Now, the way it's set up as well is there are 6-person tables, 4-person tables, and 2-person tables. And so what will happen, and I know you haven't been to one yet, Chip, so I'll just explain this briefly. If you're having a conversation with somebody and you go, oh gosh, this guy Eric is so interesting, and I know that I need to talk to him about a podcast. And so someone is going to say, Eric, can you meet me at table 12? That's a 2-person table. And you're going to double click to jump over there. And then you've effectively locked out the rest of the room and you're able to have that private conversation. So it works beautifully. People are really able to see. You have to see it. You have to see it to believe it. I don't think that it's something that I can really explain well, but it's, just you can see the way my face glows. I love what we do. And I think people, when they come, usually the overriding thing they say to us, oh my gosh, I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds it sounds basically the way I'm understanding this is when you're at the different tables, you can just reach out to somebody at another table and then go to like a 2-person private chat.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
And, not only are you talking about meeting some amazing professionals at these meetings,
Yeah.
but you're also talking about sometimes solid friendships have been formed, roots are put down, people become very close. They're very much on building each other up. We love that. They come alongside each other. When somebody is struggling with something, they're able to say, gosh, this is my challenge. And there's usually half a dozen people who will have an idea of what can be done.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're taking steps 1, 2, and 3 in the networking process because, when I'm running a meeting live, I tell people that the bottom line is it's not about who's in the room, it's about who they know.
Yeah.
And what your goal is to set up appointments to get to know these people because obviously it's based upon trust. And if I refer somebody to Eric and Eric messes up, I'm getting the phone call, that kind of stuff. But what you're doing is you're actually giving them the opportunity to not only listen to each other, but take it to that next step instead of having to set up a time to get together. That process is already there. So
Right.
step 2 is there. You're moving to step 3 and you're building.
One of the things, I'm so sorry. One of the things that sets us apart is I know I've been at networking meetings where I've talked about a great new project and somebody has gone, oh gosh, yes, sounds so exciting. And then they go, oh, let me talk to my boss. And you think, oh. And so, right there, you're stumped. At these meetings, the only people who come are the decision makers. We make a point of inviting decision makers. So whether it be a CEO or anybody in the C-suite, a founder, an owner, those are the people that are coming to these meetings. We have not just founders and owners, but there's also, we have IP attorneys. We have people that are creating patents. We have inventors and investors and, you name it, authors. We have so many wonderful authors and speakers and coaches and consultants and just lots and lots of good stuff. We got our CPA through M3 Linked. We got our insurance done through M3 Linked. We've met our attorney through somebody at M3 Linked. So the company attorney, the company CPA, all of that was done through our work at M3 Linked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody's pre-qualified, so the credibility is already there.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's more than just credibility. Between the way people are invited, and I think to a certain extent people sort of self-select into this group. But
Yes.
you're talking about a group of people who are there to give of themselves. You know, it's not just about making sales or making business deals. I have met so many people that, oh, how can I help you with this? How can, what can we do to help you here?
Yeah.
And, I've done the same for a number of people already. In fact, over the past several weeks, we've had numerous guests who I met through M3 because the level of people that we're finding, you're not talking about people who are walking in off the street and going, well, let's see what this is about.
Right, exactly.
These are folks that are successful, they are decision makers, and now they want to help you be successful.
And they're very often experts in their own field. And so we love that. We encourage that. And you're absolutely right. People do self-select. We try to make everything as welcoming and as easy as we can for everybody, but it's never going to be a fit for everyone, but it is a fit for so many with that entrepreneurial spirit. And I love the fact that it is not just 100% transactional. There is so much of the giving spirit, as you said. People really do come alongside you.
Yeah, and aside from the meetings itself, the platform also gives a great way to get to know people, even in the course of the meeting, because you're not just talking to them. Everybody has a profile. You can click on them, get their profile, and there's a link to their LinkedIn profile. There's a link to their Facebook page. So if somebody says something of interest to you, you can immediately get their contact information, reach out to them in a private chat, connect to them on LinkedIn. And I've been at meetings where I've done my 90-second commercial, and all of a sudden I'm getting notifications on my phone. Such and such wants to connect to you on LinkedIn. And there'll be 3 or 4 connection requests. And then you follow up. As we often talk about networking, it's not a one and done thing. You follow up with folks, you get to know them, and you really get to see how you can work together.
Yeah, I think that, I've always loathed the term networking. We see ourselves so much more as a collaborative exchange, if you like, that we're there to really kind of assist each other and do well. And, Joe and I, that's our focus. Our whole focus is on really assisting people to make the right connections. And so that's what we do, as well as our other separate interests and businesses. M3 Linked is our major focus. And so we have the opportunity to just really kind of personally come alongside people and effectively act as a concierge, I guess, and introduce them to those people that we think will be most effective for them.
Yeah, we've been saying networking, but the networking event is just the introduction to M3. It really is a collaborative ecosystem to help you build and grow your business, and meeting the people that can get you where you want to go. Now, we are just about at the end of our time. So if you could, for any of our listeners that are interested in getting more information about M3, can you give them that information again? How can they get a hold of you?
Yes, they can. The easiest way to get hold of us is M3 Linked, linked.com. That's the website. Right at the website there, they give you the opportunity to take a look at us, to request a ticket. And somebody will get back to you immediately. We love talking to our people and just explaining what's going to be happening and how we can best serve them.
Fantastic. And it's been so great having you here, Abby. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. I've loved it. I loved chatting to you both. And, good luck with everything as you continue, Eric and Chip. I know that this is a wonderful opportunity for people to listen to those experts that you have coming on panel as well.
Thanks. Chip, what do you think is the big takeaway for our listeners this week?
Well, I love your last description, a collaborative ecosystem to help you grow your business. I mean, and it's for decision makers, givers. It's just all about entrepreneurs who want to do that. Entrepreneurs are givers. That's how they got to be where they're at.
Exactly
And
it.
so, the putting this together to get everybody to do this in the different groups that you have, and expanding all over the world in a very, very organized fashion. I mean, congratulations on doing what you're doing. And I'm sure I don't even have to wish you all the best, because I know all the best is going to be coming to you because of the way you have it structured, because of your mindset in doing this in the first place.
Thank
And
you.
because it's just wonderful. So it's been a pleasure meeting you. And I'm sure I'll hear a whole lot more in the future.
Oh, you will. And yeah, our CEO, of course, is my husband, Joe, and he's got a wonderful business mind and a great spirit for helping people. And just, he's profoundly impacted a lot of lives. And so, we're very glad to welcome everybody.
Yeah, I think for me, the big takeaway this week is actually something that's repeated very often at M3 meetings, is that entrepreneurship and solopreneurship in particular can be a very solitary function. And this is a great way to meet with people who have experienced the same things that you've gone through, that you can learn from, that you can teach and share those experiences. And that is just so important for all of our success, because even the overnight success doesn't happen overnight, and nobody does it alone. This is a fantastic system for connecting with those people to bring you to the next level.
Yeah. And of course, with the mastermind, you have the mentoring up and down, as well, that you're taking information from people, you're imparting information. And so, that's a great opportunity too. When we first brought the mastermind and said, it's going to be part of free, a part of your membership, people thought we were crazy. But it's proved to be, Joe is such a forward thinker, and it's proved to be such an incredible thing for everybody, that they get to join these masterminds and really learn and expand. And you see that visible growth from those. So that's a great opportunity as well.
Yeah, it is a fantastic experience.
Thank
And
you.
you've been listening to the Success Showcase. You can catch every episode of Success Showcase at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts. Remember, make this your best week ever and make next week even better. We'll see you then.